Hello. Today we have our social studies teacher of the high school, Balaji. He takes history, economics, political science, and sociology. And when I say he's a social studies teacher, I just mean that it's just probably one of the many hats he wears. He's a TEDx host, he's a certified public speaker, he's a fitness freak, and above all of it, his students absolutely adore him. There is something in him that's magical. There is something in him which is extraordinary. And as you hear, hello Balaji, how are you?
I'm good, ma'am. How are you? How are things going?
Doing great, doing great. So tell us one thing, Balaji. You got to tell us many things. In those many things, let's start with the first thing. How did you get into teaching?
Oh, that's a very interesting story. I actually got into teaching completely inspired by Pawan. I mean, a lot of people have told that they got inspired by Pawan and they did a lot of things. But I think I am the one who got inspired at the youngest age. So I joined Achieve Academy when I was 15 years old for my 10th grade. Back then, Achieve Group had just the tuitions. And that 1 year, until my previous year's results and my 10th standard results had a 35% hike.
Wow.
And we did this with complete fun. We had the best time possible in Achieve Academy. And I was so lucky because my social teacher, my science teacher, and my math teacher was Pawan.
Balaji, when you tell that you're a social studies teacher, usually social studies is considered like, you know what, it's too dragging, there's too much of writing. The challenge is how do you make it interesting? And I know you do a terrific job there because I have seen, kids love to sit in your class. And, I've had the fortune of sitting in one of your classes and, you make it so interesting. So can you tell us what kind of preparations you do before you start?
So sweet. So one thing my intention as a teacher is not to teach the subject, is not to teach the textbook. My intention as a teacher is for my kids to understand a concept. Social science has always been dry because as a kid, even I found social science to be very dry because it's data. But data is not what social science is all about. Social science has subjects like your constitution, your judiciary, what your country is made of, what this world is made of, your latitudes, your longitudes, your planets, your seasons, your history from the times of Ashoka till the time of your present prime minister. It's got so much. If I'm doing a chapter judiciary, did you actually explain kids how a court works? In fact, last year when we were doing this chapter judiciary, and I just didn't do the chapter. I didn't do the chapter at all. We recreated an entire courtroom scene. We had a judge, we had two lawyers, we had a police officer, we had a victim, we had a suspect, we had almost 18 characters. We had witnesses on both the sides, and for the scene of crime, we created a scene there. And all I had to do to kids is just explain this, and trust me, this scene went on for my next 6 periods. At every point in time, they would stop and they're like, "Sir, can we do this in the court?" And all I had to do is yes or no. That's it. By the end of this, they know the entire thing. We had a parliament session, in fact, where we had the MLA speak, we had the MP speak, and everyone spoke so well. They ran their own campaigns, they prepared a campaign, they had their own logos. So I can't take credit for that. They have been prepared well at the lower classes, and hence I get the ripe fruit. And I can't say, "Oh, I made this beautiful mango." No, it's the plan that that actually grew into a beautiful tree and gave me the ripe mango as it is.
Absolutely. Whether it's our nursery teachers or primary or higher primary, I mean, the kind of effort they're putting, the kind of job they're doing, the kind of research they do for each topic, it's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Absolutely.
And I think our kids are super blessed to, as I told earlier, to enjoy, not just learn, but to enjoy the process.
Absolutely. No second thoughts about that.
Tell us, Balaji, you have taught elsewhere, you have dealt elsewhere, and now you're taking classes here. What is the difference you see between children who have, like, we specialize and we call ourselves as India's only studio school?
I was actually, in fact, I judge quite a few events in different colleges. So whenever I go to college, I do come upon a few of my old students. When I talk to them, each one's a president of a cultural forum. They're either a part of the commerce forum, or either they're the popular kid talking to everyone. They're so good with communication that everyone's looking up to them. They're so confident. They don't even feel, okay, this is a new space, I need some time to grow. In the first year itself, I've been to Jain College Vivipuram, I've been to Jain College Jayanagar, I've been to Christ, I've been to MCC, so many institutions, and all these forums have our Achieve Kids, which hardly has, let's just take 50 students in 10th grade. And these kids go into an ocean of maybe 1,000 to 2,000 first PU kids, and they happen to take on the seats of leadership. So I think the beauty of this learning is they are so open, and they don't think twice before taking up challenges. Because in this concept, they're so used to doing things, they're active, they're always on top of their system. They're like, okay, after every period I have to go here. They're so excited from class to class. There's no resting time, there's no sleeping time for them. After every class, the environment changes for them. They're so used to that active lifestyle at school, and it's so beautifully projected once they're out of school also.
Thank you, Balaji sir. Pleasure was all ours to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Likewise, ma'am. Thank you so much.